Welcome back, guys. I thought I'd do this particular video on simple modifications you can make to your Conkeys. Now, if you're not familiar with Conkeys, they are little graphic apps that run on your screen, typically to show you some of the statistics, let's say, of your particular operating system. Now, the easiest way to use a Conky is to install Conky-Manager. You can install that easily within any Ubuntu or Debian installation. If you Google Conky-Manager, you want to pull up the TG Tech. It explains Conky-Manager and also gives you some sample Conkeys. When you install Conky-Manager, you'll get several sample Conkeys, and then you can start building your Conky library from there. Search online because it's something that many people design Conkeys. You can find them online and find one that you really like for your desktop. You have a couple of options on install. One is that you can download the latest Debian file, and that's available right on this website, TG Tech. Or you can add the PPA and install it that way. So now and there are theme packs, so if you click this link, you can download the official theme pack number 1. Now, there are other theme packs also that you can add to later. So I'm not going to get into too much of this. You can go ahead and find Conky-Manager using these instructions that I gave you and install that. And then once you have Conky-Manager up and running, you can experiment and download. But I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do with the Conky files, because they can be pretty easily modified. You don't need any programming language. I'll show you a couple of things you can do. And to illustrate, I'm going to use the Conky that Sparky Linux includes with their distribution. And I'm going to use that by means of illustration to show you what the file looks like and what you can change to make it more your own. So let's take a look at Conky-Manager. When you open Conky-Manager, this is what you'll see. And on the right, well, that's for donations, which I'm all for. These guys need to have some incentive to keep putting these products out for us. But the application settings is what I wanted. You can run it at startup, so we'll turn that on. And there's a delay. I usually take it down to 10. And I leave the locations alone because everything will come up on your screen, on your main menu screen. So then click OK. Now you can install theme packs, and I think I have one on my, let's see, yeah, see this default themes extra? Okay, that's the theme pack that I have downloaded. Now if you look at what I have now, you can see over here, this is what I have. See if I can make that a little bit bigger. So those are the Conkeys that came with the program. I'm going to install this extra, and I'm going to click open, and it's going to go ahead, and as you can see, the theme's imported successfully, and I now have a lot more Conkies to pick from. So, and that's how easy it is. You can find those theme packs online. Now, you can generate preview images. I'm gonna enlarge this window a little bit. Right here, generate preview images for all widgets with missing previews. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to capture the desktop background, and I'm going to use PNG images. So I'll click OK. And now you can, if I click on one, you'll see the preview image of what it would look like on your desktop. Okay? That's how easy it is. Now, so once you have that, you can open your theme folder and you can edit a particular widget. So as I said, I'm going to use the Sparky, which I have named Test. I think it's in here under Test. Let's see if I can, there it is. Okay, so this is the Sparky Linux, and I'm going to pop it on my desktop over here. When you click on the line, it shows you a preview, but it won't show on your desktop until you check off the box. Okay, now do you see here where it says Sparky Linux? Now, if you want to change that, well, if you, I'm going to, all right, I'll cover this right now. If you want to edit locations and easy things like that, transparency, you can do that by clicking on Edit Widget up in the top here. And that'll bring up your alignment. So right now it's middle right. There's the horizontal spacing and the vertical spacing. That's the size, the transparency. You can set time format and network. Now my network, I only have Ethernet and it's ETH1, and that's why it's actually capturing the statistics or the data from my Ethernet network. Download, upload, total download, total upload. If I had wireless, I could click on LAN and plug in the information, and it'll capture my wireless. So you can do it right from the editing of the widget, but there are some things that you can't do from here. And so I'm going to close that out. I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to open the Conky file. Now let's see if I can locate that file. We're going to go into File Manager. I'm going to have to enable hidden files. Then I'm going to go in your home folder, click on Conky. There are all of the Conkies that I have. So there's my test Conky. You see this here? And I'm going to open that file. Now, as you can see, there's the preview that I generated, but you want to open the configuration file. Okay, so if I want to change the name, and believe me, I am not a Conky wizard. I cannot write Conkies, but I can look and I can find, and that's all I need to do. So if I want to change the name, I'm going to look for Sparky Linux. It doesn't appear really anywhere else here. So I know if I find Sparky Linux in this configuration file, then I should be able to change it. So lo and behold, on the text I've got Sparky Linux. So if I want to change that, let's say I wanted to change that to Lens Linux. So I edit like any editor, text editor. I'm gonna type in what I want. Okay, and then I'm going to save it. Now you can see that it refreshed, and now it says Lens Linux. Now, when I first booted up with this Conky, this was set to ETH0. It wasn't grabbing anything in my network. So the first thing I want to show you is, in order to find out what name your network has, we're going to type in IP link show, okay, into a terminal. IP link show. Okay, now these are my network devices. And what you want to do is, the easiest way to do it is look for the one that says up and up. Okay, this one says up and down, which means it's not actually working right now. It's not capturing anything. You want to look for the one that says up and up, which is ETH1. Okay? IP link show, find the device that's up in both locations, and take that number, ETH1, write it down. Then you will want to pull up your Conky file, and let's see. You want to pull up your Conky file. As you can see, I changed to Lens Linux. And you want to look for ETH, if it says 0. So you want to look for whatever is over here. So what I had to do is, this was originally set to ETH0. I had to go looking for ETH0, and it'll be down in the text section. If you look at ETH0, I found it multiple times. Okay, and basically it was on the network, downloads, uploads, total down, total up, everywhere you see over here. All I did was I changed ETH0. Everywhere I found ETH0, I changed it to ETH1. I had to change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different locations. Once I was done, I saved the file and I started capturing my data from my Ethernet network. As simple as that. So what I'm getting at is, if you take a look at the configuration file for the Conky, you can get a good idea of how this is constructed. Once you have a good feel for how it's constructed, then you can go in and do your modifications. Now you could change color. You can see where it says color. So let's say I wanted to change the gray. on Lens Linux. Well, let's see if we can find the color. And it's referencing color 3. Now, let's see if there are any other references on color 3. That's right here. You see color 3? Now, right now, color 3 is 919191. If I look in a browser and I look for color 919191 Hex Color. You see that color Hex Gray? Well, that's the color, as you can see. So, as long as you know the hex color, you can change that to anything you want. Everywhere it's gray will change to the color you plug in. So if I search for Hex Color, and I want the HTML color codes, and it's important that you find the right one, or else it won't be very easy to use. So let's see if we can find one. Okay, so users' least favorite colors. Now these are the least favorite colors. These are your latest palettes. So if I click on so there you have the hex. So let's for example, let's change to this one here, just for the heck of it. We know it's 919191, but let's go for 9 EADD6 for color 3. EADD6. Let's see if that works. And do you see how that worked? Now I've got a little purplish tint to it. Now we remember it was 919191, so you want to remember that in case you want to put it back. But I think I'm going to leave it just like that because it pops off the screen a little bit better. See that? So I'm going to wrap up the video. I hope that gave you enough information so that you can start experimenting with your Conkys. We covered how to change the title here, and that's in the text area. We covered how to change a color, and that'll typically be in the colors area. And then you have to be able to know what your devices are, and we found that by IP link show, and that brought up our device name. And then all we need to do is go in, find the device, and change it to ours. And again, if you start examining the colors and the way the Conky is constructed, you can get a pretty good idea of what you want to change. For example, if you look at the, you've got an offset, a vertical offset, minus 33. So that's your, basically it's where the graphics lie on the screen. How much is offset from the margins or the edge of the screen. Now I typically don't mess with that. What I do is, now I'm gonna save this. I think I already did, but I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna go back to Conky-Manager. So now I've got Sparky up here. If I want to change location, really all I need to do is change the location, the alignment. So if I want to go bottom right, it'll drop down to the bottom, as you can see. And if I want to take it back to the middle right, it's back to the middle right. So guys, I hope you got a little bit of information out of this video. I showed you how to install Conky-Manager, how to download additional themes, additional Conkies, and how to do minor modifications to the Conky so you can make it more of your own. So guys, that's it for this video. I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you soon. Take care.